Welcome to another episode of Blank Pages. Thank you for my page turners for turning in. Thank you. To the right of me, we have the lovely Tony, and as usual, Ray has come back from the slums, come back from the gutter. My man has been in the trenches, 10-foot toes down, digging into these audits. Raymundo, once again, I call him Raymundo. You call him Ray. He is back. And for another day, for another surprise guest, it's a surprise for us as well, because he was only supposed to sit in and not do anything, but because he's just that guy. You know, the David Merritt is here. The David Merritt. Yeah. How you doing?
Good, I'm good. Pleasure to be here.
Yes.
It's a surprise.
Yeah, it is a surprise. I was not expecting you to be on the show. But then Ray was just like, nah, put him in. We got an extra mic. And I was like, I bet. I got an extra tripod. Let's do it. So, but yeah, it was dope. So today we have a special episode. We're all first generation besides Tony Ann, because she's fresh off the boat. And we have a special episode today. A lot of us, or if not all of us, we are all Jamaican American, and we more gravitate to either one at a few times. But before we do that, as you know already, got an icebreaker. So it's a true or false. It's a true or false question, all right? And y'all gonna answer true, and you're gonna answer false. All right. Jamaica has the fastest runners on earth.
True.
Absolutely.
True.
David?
True.
True or false?
True-ish.
True-ish.
True-ish. I mean, I think America does produce more athletes that are really fast.
True.
As it, Usain Bolt has hit the peak. Like, no one is passing him. But
yeah. Okay. It is true, due to Usain Bolt having the fastest time, and for us having the most dominating, in one area. I'm not trying to joke on it. It just seems like when it comes to track and field, it's just running. We also have other stuff like shot put.
They go with the hurdles too, and,
they got
and the swimmers.
The swimmers, we in there. I saw them, and I was like, oh, y'all could do this too.
Yes,
You never know.
They swim in rivers all the time.
Swimming rivers all the time.
It's true.
All right. Okay. Jamaica has its own bobsled team.
enough people say, I know you can't believe, Jamaica, we have a bobsled team.
Yes, that is true. Jamaica was not home to any pirates.
False. Jamaica was home to pirates. Portland, Tonia.
Oh, pirates, yes, they rabbi.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
It's actually a sunken city.
Yes, it is. Jamaica is actually home to pirates. And if you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
Glory. Stop. Jamaica is the only flag in all nations with its own unique colors.
True.
Yes.
Dang. I'm giving y'all facts, I'm hoping y'all be like, no. But yeah, it is true. No other country, most country has either white, red, or blue in it.
Right.
We're the only one with
Yellow,
green, and black. And to be honest,
Gold.
they be say gold, but that joint is yellow.
Yeah.
It's yellow.
It's yellow.
It's gold.
It's yellow. Okay.
Thank you, Ray.
Okay. All right. To switch up the icebreaker, because you just out here just doing the most. What is one way that we greet each other in the morning? Will we say good morning? How you're doing? How would you say that in patois?
Morning.
Okay. When we say good night, is it to say good night to go to bed, or is it just saying what a good night?
No.
It's
good.
It's a greeting.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
good night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the other time, the only reason I'm asking this is because my wife, she's full blown American. No other drop but American. And someone said, good night. And she was like, why would you say that? I'm not going to bed. And I was just like, it's a greeting amongst, Caribbean Jamaican people. They'll say good night and you just be like, Yeah, but for us, American side, you say good night. All right, have a nice day. Go to bed. How would you ask someone how they're doing or what's going on with them?
Well, go on. And then your response would be?
Not much. Oh, you.
Or Medea. Right?
Medea.
Medea.
Damn.
All
There's
right.
so many ways to ask how you doing.
True,
So
that
many
is.
ways.
All right. So, like I was saying in the beginning of the episode, we are Jamaican American. That's something that I love to, hone in on, especially like as a culture in every way as possible. I also like to say Jamerican, so we are Jamericans in some ways. So for each of you, because we're going to be talking about the Jamaican heritage, like what was it like growing up with Jamaican parents in America? Because like growing up with Jamaican parents, yeah, but growing up with Jamaican parents in America,
It's different.
It's different. So since we have a guest today, I'm gonna go with David.
Start with me. Just put me right out there.
Facts. You put you right in the
To
fire.
be honest,
Yeah.
growing, I didn't know I was Jamaican for a little bit.
Wait, no, explain.
I didn't know.
Explain.
I wasn't engrossed in the culture of what comes to being Jamaican. My mom didn't wear her accent strong.
Okay.
I didn't eat a lot of the foods. I didn't learn about foods like breadfruit, jackfruit. I did like the fried dumplings, corned beef, stuff like that, but a lot of American food, spaghetti, cereal, just the regular, just rice with chicken, but like not like stewed Jamaican chicken, just like.
You see, this is why you're on the episode today. Because it would have just been straight, just Jamaican.
Yeah, I didn't hear any reggae in my house. The first like music I remember growing up was like BB and CC.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I was pretty sheltered.
Okay.
I was pretty sheltered. I mean, I got some stuff from my grandparents. Like I learned tamarind. I wouldn't have ate it unless I was with my grandparents and like certain foods that she made. But
Okay.
the plantain and the dumpling, my mom didn't make that.
What you call it again? Say it again.
It's tamarind.
No, not tamarind.
What you talking about?
The plan what?
The plantain?
Oh, okay, there you go. You didn't say so distinctly before.
Okay. Yeah, the plantain and the dumpling. But yeah.
Sorry, I was messing with you because you said plantain before.
I said plantain. You
yeah,
sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plantain.
Plantain, right? But yeah, I wasn't immersed in Jamaican culture. I really wasn't.
Okay. What about you, Tony?
Well, it was a bit of a mix,
Okay.
but moving from Jamaica to here, we still were very much versed in the Jamaican culture. You don't eat cereal for breakfast. That is not breakfast. You must drink tea. Okay? So we had our tea. We had our hot foods. We didn't do a lot of American foods for a while. And then they started incorporating it as it got easier and just, we still had reggae, as y'all know. We're a musical family, so we had our gospel and then we had our regular reggae. Just very sparsely, just every now and again. Once in a while, you heard a little Barris Hammond. They like their Barris Hammond. So
Facts. That's the like.
Sprinkled in there.
If there was any unquote ungodly music being played, it was definitely Barris Hammond.
Yeah.
Lovers Rock.
Side fact: did you know one time in church I did play some Barris Hammond on the like the house speakers?
Yeah.
Your mother, Ray. Boy, what the wine she was doing. I was like, yo, Sister Stone. And then, of course, everybody, my mother's like, no, my mother was in it. It was my father like, no, you can't be playing that here. And I'm just like, he ain't saying nothing wrong. He just talking about how much he love his woman. Like, do we not preach love your woman as God would love the church? He's talking about it. No? But yeah, that was. It's biblical. It's biblical-ish.
Song of Solomon right there.
Yeah, there you go. Yo, I was reading the Song of Solomon. I was just like, this seems a little. Why is this in here? Like, but it was nice and poetic. What about you, Ray?
For me, I didn't realize how Jamaican or how the culture impacted me, like my parents impacted me, until I saw like my American friends, or I go Long Island and I see the cultural difference. I'm just like,
Turns up.
thumbs up. Like they would say, "Hey, I hear your accent." I was like, "Accent? Why you want to hear?" So, um, so that's for me. It was you had a little bit of music. I think I have a little bit elements of both of you guys where I had the culture, but when I would try to speak the patois, my parents like, "Yo, yeah, Yankee, yeah."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yo,
I'm
brought
trying.
me here for like 3 weeks every year, or 2 times a year. I spent at least 6 weeks in Jamaica as a child,
Mhm.
right? So I'll go to summer school, enjoy summer school there, and then I'll go in during this Christmas time. So I pick up the lingo, you know.
That makes
But
sense.
it was just like, don't talk like that, you're American, you know.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that? My sisters told me that my mom discouraged them from
Yeah.
talking patois.
Really?
Like she wanted, and that's why I said I didn't hear my mom's accent like that. She wanted like them to sound, I guess, proper, or what she thought was proper. So whenever my sisters tried to like, she was like, "Nah, don't do that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that."
What's crazy is that my grandfather was the same way with my dad, and that's why, like, you see Auntie Sandra, she don't be even talking, like, she only know American everything. But however, like, my father, you see it come out if he's around his boys or he's playing dominoes, especially dominoes. But my mother from Bush, so it was coming out no matter what. Like, it was like the regular way of speaking. So just like for David, like, I knew I was Jamaican, but I really didn't identify with the American side until I started to get like around friends and whatnot. And then for David, like when David was saying that, he didn't hear it. I didn't hear it from my father, but I knew he was Jamaican because he told me story he was from there. But I knew my mother was from Jamaica just by the way how she acted and she talked. Like, for instance, cereal's not a breakfast. It's more like a snack. I didn't, like, I was like, I think the first time I had like a shell shock that, nah, you're not as American as you think you was when I got married. It was weird. I'm so serious.
That reason?
Because for me, like, growing up, I remember when I came over to your house, bro. And on a Sunday, they had Chinese food. And I was just like, oh, I want Chinese food on a Sunday. I ate Chinese food and I got reprimanded for eating Chinese food on a Sunday.
That's crazy.
I eat Chinese food on no Sunday. And I'm just like,
Rice on peas.
yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, what? It's still food. And that to me, I was just like, oh, I guess that's just not how my parents does things. Even when I went to college, there was like a lot of Italian, so I got immersed into the Italian food. When David said he had like spaghetti, never had spaghetti in my house. It was until I got married and I was put onto spaghetti and I was put onto what collard greens was. I knew what these things were because they're out there for me to try. But in my head, they're just different cultures. I didn't know this was like an American way of doing things. So now when I got married and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, for instance, Christmas. She was like, you want to make a gift list? What the hell is that? She was just like, you just put 5 things down and you pick 3. And I'm like, hold on, we do gifts on Christmas? Because in my house, we don't do gifts on Christmas. Granted, we might exchange gifts every once in a while, but on Christmas, it's more about family. I'm not saying that, Christmas is not, it's not about gift giving and whatnot. I'm just saying, in my house, it's just like, no, we do it about family. And that's why I guess like my disdain for Christmas came because I had see all these people going crazy the day before Christmas trying to buy gifts. I'm just like, y'all doing it wrong. Y'all supposed to be home with your family.
Right.
But yeah.
But the funny thing about food, because we didn't go out. If we went out, it's to like a Jamaican restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the door.
Like my mom used to be like, yo, let's go get Italian or let's go get something else. Let's go get, North them wash them meat. It's like, yo, bro. And that was the thing. So,
Yeah. I mean, One thing I can honestly say about Jamaicans, they are the most nicest, kindest, rudest, proudest people on earth,
Yeah.
all in one. And I I kind of I think me and Tony was talking about this one time, that being raised in a Caribbean home, it kind of toughens you up
Yeah.
because they're very blunt.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Ray praising me for the fact that I keep everything like 100, and that's because that's how I was raised. Like, but at the same time, on the flip side, it can also be detrimental. Like, I remember like going like to family events, and if a cousin put on a few more pounds than they did last year, what that way I get big.
Lord, you big noise.
Jeez, I'm like, hey, eat
Last-
everything in the fridge. Like,
La-
dang.
A good one, well, not good. A crazy one I heard was last year you was 1 and now you're 2. I was like,
And the thing about it is that they mean it.
That's crazy.
No.
Wait. Yeah, you're right. I feel like she still hurt a little bit over that. I'm just saying.
And the craziest thing, it'll be coming from like your grandma. It'll be coming from like your auntie, your
that
uncle.
auntie you don't
that you
really just,
love.
yeah. You just
But
be
then
like,
you're like, is this love? Or are you trying to be like harsh?
You never know.
You never know. Like, you got to like decipher it, like,
never know, yo.
until you tell them like, that hurt my feelings. I never mean it that way. You know, you're just big. And just like, dang. Like, you don't know how to not tell the truth sometimes.
man.
I had a friend recently asked me, she was looking at me, sideways look. Why you look maga so? I said,
Wow.
I said, she ain't asked me that. She ain't really asked me that, right? That's not a real question. So I ignored her. And she asked me again,
Why you look maga so?
why you look maga so? I said, what you want me to say to that? What you want me to say? You're right. I actually got dressed today. I put on my maga suit, and now I look maga. This is where we at now.
And I guess that's what it births, where we're able to have a quick comeback.
Right.
Because the same way how someone be like, what the way I look big? What the way I look single?
Right.
The way how am I supposed to lose weight? Weren't you supposed to pick up a man by now?
Yeah.
But yeah. So when it comes to like your family root and whatnot,
Yeah.
was it hard for you to like, identify with either or? And if so, when was it? For me, I think like my first time having an identity crisis, and it sounds weird but funny, it was during the like U.S. Olympics. I remember the first time watching it, and I'm seeing everyone doing swimming. I'm like, yeah, go America, yeah, go. Track and field. I mean, I know who to root for. My mother's over here rooting for Jamaica. And I'm just like, should I root for Jamaica or should I root for America? And I remember sitting on the couch, confuzzled, just like, who do I root for?
Listen, when it comes to track and field, it's Jamaica all the way.
I learned that when I blurted out, yeah, let's go USA, USA, not in my house. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm sorry, mommy, I'm sorry.
What time is that? Go out of your bed.
Yeah. So have you ever had like an identity crisis between your American and Jamaican culture?
No,
Not really.
Okay.
No.
as I said before, the only thing is the lingo that I would talk
True.
in the house, and I'd be like, but people who come from Latin America, they know Spanish. They teach their kids Spanish.
True.
And if you're Dominican, you pick up the Dominican lingo as well. If you're Puerto Rican, it's the same thing. So let me rock with my power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me rock with it.
So that's the only thing that I face. I think the neighborhood I grew up in was predominantly Caribbean. So you had Jamaicans, you had Guyanese, Grenadian. So you had like a melting pot of folks. So when I went to school, it was just like, there's some things that are identifiable. And there's some things like, well, what did you just call that? Yeah, say chicken curry.
Yeah, it's curry chicken.
So things like that. But other than that, no.
I did have one of my friends in elementary school. He was like, what's oxtail? And I was just like, it's the ox's tail. He's like, yeah, but what is oxtail? I was like, you're saying the name of the food. oxtail is ox's tail. Is the tail of the ox. I don't know how else to put it to you. He was just like, so you guys be eating tails? I'm like, and I felt offended. I was just like, yeah, what you trying to say? But now you try to get some oxtails. It's like $20 per oxtail.
Yeah, it's that.
We're not gonna get on the inflation.
No.
Funny enough, my identity crisis doesn't happen here. It's like when I go back to Jamaica, then it's like, oh, life is different. Now I see how I've been impacted by living in America.
Facts.
I still get the lingo, I still get the culture, but man, it's different.
I feel like when I go to Jamaica, I'm American. I'm not even Jamaican. Because it's like, if I try to even just sound or speak the patois, it depends. For the older women, they love it. They like, oh, you're still keeping the Jamaican culture, rich and whatnot. I'd be like, how you doing? What's up, mommy? How you doing? And they're like, oh, look at you. The men, why y'all talk like that for? I'm just like, how are you? Oh, y'all sound to him. I like, which one you want? What do you want? You want the American version, the Jamaican, or the Jamerican? Because I could give you Jamerican right now. That's all I got. And I feel like it's like a code switch. Like, I feel like I experience code switching. Like, if I'm with my Americans, I'll talk straight English. But if I hear another Jamaican talking,
Automatic.
It's like,
Automatically.
especially because I have locks now, General.
Yeah.
Rasta.
I don't miss that.
General, how you doing? I'm just like, I'm good. I remember the first time I responded with the American, I'm good. And he looked at me so weird. He's like, you don't have nothing for me. I was just like, what am I supposed to say to you? He's like, either blessings or general or something. And I was just like, okay. So now, and it happens predominantly in Brooklyn, I walk down the street, general, I'll be at blessings. And he'd be like, thank you. I'm just like, okay. But for me, it feels like a code switch. I heard my wife say, like, when you get around another Jamaicans, it's just like, y'all both turn Super Saiyan Jamaican. And everything that comes out your mouth is just patois. And she's just standing there like with the,
what are you saying?
who is this man? How about you? You ever experience any code switching?
Nope, no code switching. I get criticized for not claiming my Jamaican side more.
Really?
So I'd be like, I'm American with Jamaican parents. So people, I kind of troll by doing that. But yeah, so I'm not afraid to, I am what I am. I'm Jamerican, but with a dash of Jamaican. Like, I was basically raised American with the dash of Jamaican, a little bit around church, a little bit around my grandparents. But yeah, at home, not so much.
So for you, have you ever seen like a connection between the cultures as far as like values and traditions?
Not really. They're very different. And my mom, growing up, now I see how much my mom pushes against, like, she likes to do things that make sense. And I'm very pragmatic in that way too, where she feels like there's certain things like Jamaican culture is dumb. Like straight up, like just the superstitions, the different superstitions, like
we drink tea for everything.
That doesn't make any sense.
First of all, we drink tea for everything.
Yes. It has to be a study. There got to be a study.
I got into drinking tea recently, honestly. I like drinking tea now.
That's
Start the day
roots.
drinking tea. I
There
go to
you
sleep
go.
drinking tea. It's cool. I like it. Calms me.
I'm just sorry because the drinking tea thing, it just be, you have a headache?
Yeah,
drink
but it's
tea.
like drink tea for everything. Like, it can't cure everything. That don't make
can't.
no sense.
Oh, you see Tony?
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Depends.
It depends on what's wrong. Because more than likely, if you have a headache, it's because you haven't eaten and you need something hot. And that hot tea will help.
Listen, I understand it depends.
It depends.
And I just want to say this. I went to church. And I think I got sprained. It was when my shoulder was acting up.
They told you to drink
That's
tea.
for the shoulder.
They told me to drink tea. They did.
There it goes.
And I got reprimanded for not drinking tea.
There it goes. Right.
It was like, you drink some tea though?
Not for your shoulder.
No.
ridiculous.
And they're just like, you need to
Not
drink
for
some
your
tea.
shoulder.
And I'm just like,
Okay, all right.
And I was like,
Okay.
and I literally,
All right,
in my
not
brain,
everything.
I was like, should we ask if this is for the shoulder or should we just stay quiet? And you know what I did?
Stay
quiet. Because I am not.
Oh, man.
One thing I am not about to do is argue with an authentic Jamaican about the power of tea. Because maybe it's to the point where maybe drinking tea for them is just a psychological thing where the body is now becoming great.
Like a placebo effect?
Exactly.
Sometimes.
But tea is also good for majority of the stuff.
It has its uses.
For a sprained shoulder, no.
Tea and Ray and Nephew.
Yes.
All right.
For the sprained shoulder, the Ray and
Ray and
nephew.
Nephew.
They would have
Fever?
told you Ray and nephew.
Right.
Nah, but that works. That's
My mom
that
turned on the
actually
cold water,
works.
dump some Ray and Nephew in there, some lime, put me in there. I'm like, Mom, it's cold. It's like, yo,
Like,
never
they'll be
see
like,
a little
"It's
boy
okay."
fear the cold water. I'm just like, it's below 50 degrees. Like, but the fever broke.
Literally, there's just it's the fact that the alcohol opens up your pores just makes your body sweat out that fever. It just
David, did you ever have to go through that?
No weird alcohol, no remedies.
Listen, I didn't know Ray and Nephews was for drinking purposes.
Well, now I'm older.
Now that I'm older,
New purpose.
and I see the purposes. But when I was younger, it was just like, all right, get the Ray and Nephew. And I'm
When
just
you're
like,
sick?
put it on my forehead, put it on my chest,
Yep.
put it on my face. And I'm just like,
Listen.
until I saw someone drinking, I'm like, why are you drinking medicine? They looked at me like, what the hell you just
Is
said?
it clear out your sinuses?
Like, why are you drinking medicine? Bro, this is liquor. And I was just like, no, it's not. It's medicine. When I was younger, this. My man said, you should have opened up an ACS case, bro.
Nah, but it works. That's one thing that I will never throw away, though. A fever? I'm rubbing you down in some Ray. I'm wrapping you up in a blanket. I'm going to come check on you in another hour. You're going to be good. Gonna be good. It's okay.
Albus oil, that menthol.
The albus oil, yes.
All right, what else? What else was something that did not make sense?
There's some Jamaicans I feel like they believe that cold inherently makes you sick and getting wet inherently makes you sick. And I hate that so much.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one, bro.
I hate that one.
Especially if it drops below a certain degree.
Yeah.
Where your jacket at? It is only 50 degrees outside. You don't catch a cold. No, I am not.
That's not how it works.
I am not.
It don't make sense. But yet you're dipping me in 50 below degree water when I'm sick.
Especially like if your head is wet. You know how many times I came to school and I saw the Puerto Ricans with their hair wet? I'm just like, son, don't make sense. Because if their head is wet and they outside, why are they not sick?
Why they not sick?
Yeah.
I heard the same thing.
I used to ask my wife the same, like, you gonna go out with your hair wet like that? You gonna get sick. But she's been doing it from like a kid, so.
And it's just like, oh, that don't make sense. Got you. And I feel like that's where the American culture comes in, where it's just like, yeah, that's more of a superstition. I like to call it superstition because it has no evidence behind it. But however, it's a superstition, and I'm like, all right, I understand. Especially another one that I don't understand since we're on this one. If you're watching Duppy on the television, Duppy is in your house. How? By the way, sorry, Duppy is a ghost.
Not necessarily Duppy. The understanding that I was given, or the explanation, is that when you watch certain things, you definitely, there's definitely pathways depending on what you're watching. Now, some movies
Like Harry Potter.
Okay, no, not Harry Potter.
Because Harry Potter was banned in my home until like I remember putting it on, walking on my mom watching. I'm like,
but like Paranormal Activity,
okay,
where they sometimes they opened up realms in the movie. It's like, all right, yeah, you got to be careful of what you're watching.
I was talking about more like vampires and werewolves and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was Jamaican parents, just being Jamaican.
Yeah. It was a little too like, it's just a vampire. You don't want that inside the house.
We gotta watch.
That's
Turn
not,
that
that's not
demonic.
even real.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
You must take up your Bible.
All right. So, since we've been talking about Jamaican culture for a good part of this segment, what part of American culture do you like grasp and love? Because we are going to talk about the negative of both as well. What part of the American culture do you grasp and love? One thing I have grasped and sort of come to now, I can't say love, but understand, is that they're a little bit softer than us. And what I mean by softer, as in the same way how I can look at someone and be like, yo, you getting a little bit too big.
Okay.
For an American culture, I know that I can't just come out and say that.
Yeah.
I gotta be going around the bush like, hey, how you doing?
They're
You
a bit more
okay?
political.
What's going on? You look like you packing on a few, or what's happening? Like,
Can't even say that.
exactly. Like I remember I went to rehearsal the other day, and our director, he came and he was just like, yo, you getting bigger. And in my brain, I'm like, yeah, I definitely have put on a lot of fat and muscle, but I know it's a lot more fat than muscle. And I'm looking at him just like, he said it in a very nice way. But in my head, I'm just like, I'm grateful for that because it's not always time for that bluntness that I see in Jamaican culture, because it's either tell it how it is all the time, or shut up. There's no in between. So I guess for the American culture, I like that there's an in between area where I can either shut up, tell you how it is, or find a nicer, softer way of telling you how it is. What about you, David?
I got to think about this one for a little bit, honestly.
Ooh.
I'm going to pass it off.
Got you.
The American culture, or a part of it that I embrace, is not toughen through everything. Like, if, for example, Caribbeans, they know how to make whatever situation work, no matter how inconvenient it is. And sometimes I don't feel like it. So I embrace the American side where it's like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. I'm gonna call somebody else so that they can handle it, rather than toughen it out. My dad is very old school Jamaican, and he will tough anything out, while I'm like, nah, dad, I'm gonna just call somebody. He'd be like, this is not how we raise you. You're acting like you can't. I'm like, dad, I don't feel like it. He'd be like, all right. I'm like, okay. I don't want to tough it out all the time. Sometimes I just want to just have it be nice and chill.
Facts. Like, I remember my mom celebrating the fact that she had 6 months of sick time accumulated. I'm like, you never used it? No.
Even when
Why
they're
not?
sick.
I was never sick. I'm like, hold on, time out. I remember when you had the flu. You still went to work. In my brain, I'm like, nah, you were sick.
Toughen it out.
You were sick. Why did you take the sick day? You had more than enough time. You had 6 months work. She's like, yeah, they're forcing me to use it, and I'm just like, all right, ma, you gonna use it? If I don't, I don't know what will happen. So yes, I will. I was like, all right, use it.
Man.
Me and mom's in the same boat. Over my hours.
Bro, take your sick time.
Take your sick time.
Take your sick time.
Almost like forcing me to take my vacation.
Stop toughing it through.
Toughen this through.
What about you?
I was here thinking about it, thought about it, and I realized how much my parents or the ideologies that they brought from Jamaica is ingrained in me. And I had a hard time finding something that I appreciate about the American culture other than the music.
Okay.
Like the music, I love music, American, Jamaican, reggae, compa, don't matter.
Yeah.
So, but I, I'm just like, and
Yeah.
you don't realize how ingrained you are until I was just asked that question. I was like, ah.
Yeah. I have a problem, and the reason why I chose to pick the fact that there's an in between is because, granted, when I've experienced, I think another part of American culture that I do love, and I'll explain on it in a few, is that what I've seen in my parents is not what I've seen in most Jamaican homes. My father's willing to give me hugs and kisses, willing to love on me, willing to talk to me, willing to tell me the truth. My mother is the same way too. But when I go to traditional Jamaican homes, not all of them, but when I like go back, to Yad, the homeland, you don't really see a lot of fathers talking and having an intimate moment because they're scared they're gonna make their son gay. And one thing that I love that my father has picked up is that he is not gonna be shy about showing and expressing love to his son. He definitely shows his love to his daughter, but to his son, he will give me a hug. He will still kiss me. I'm 30 years old. He still kisses me on the cheek, and I'm cool with it. Even my uncle's the same way, where they give hugs. You don't really see men in Jamaica giving hugs. It's more like, "How you doing?" And it's just like, great. Like it always got to be a stiff arm, like a stiff handshake. But there's some moments in time in life where I'm gonna need a hug.
Yeah.
And my father has taught me that it's okay to show another man this type of love that's not coming with any sexual desire. I remember the first time I'm talking on the phone with Ray, and I was like, "I love you, bro," and I was just like, does Ray even accept it like that? And he responded like, "I love you too, bro," and I was like, "I bet." And it's not like, "Oh, I'm in love with Ray." No, I am not.
Yeah.
However, though,
Gay? No,
there's love for them. Like if he's going through something, I'm gonna feel it. Something happens to him, I'm gonna feel it.
Right.
So it's one of those things where what I adore about American culture, that granted it can be a little bit softer, but soft is what we kind of need sometimes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially in those moments where we feel a little too vulnerable. I cannot say that I don't love American culture. There's a lot of that I don't like, but at the same time, on the other hand, with Jamaican culture, there is a lot that I don't like. But we're about to get that in the next segment. But what about you?
Well, to what you said, I still rub your dad head to this day. When I see him, I just rub his bald head. I think I struggle with the question because I feel like I've spent more time appreciating American culture so much. So just like, what do I appreciate? Like everything. So I think during probably the last maybe 6, 7, 8 years, I've been trying to find more appreciation in Jamaican culture. So yeah, even like I think I spent like a small amount of time resenting my parents. Well, more my mom, but I'm like, damn, why you didn't show me more? Like, I actually had my cousin move in with us. She came right off the boat. Deidre.
Yeah.
When I was around, I think 12-ish. And then she introduced me to like different things. I'm just like, this is what it's like to like be a Jamaican.
Yo, facts, that makes sense because when I walked into your house, she was the only one speaking like patois.
Yeah. So she introduced me like terms like sketel. I'm like, what's that? What's a sketel? What's that? And like different foods. She actually asked me about different foods. So I'm like, I don't know none of those foods. I don't know what this stuff is. And it was like a weird kind of culture shock. Like, this is what I'm not. Like, this is what I could be, but I don't know any of this. So yeah, I'm at the point where I appreciate all the things about being American. Now I'm trying to gain appreciation for the Jamaican side of things.
It's now me realizing like what you're saying is matching, because when you was just like, I was really ingrained in the Jamaican culture, I'm just like, really, bro? But
I know it sounds crazy because we grew up with each other,
Yeah.
but like not at the same time.
American culture, what I like about it actually is you get a chance to experience a little bit of every other
The diversity,
Right.
diversity, right? Whether you have a Jewish friend, Italian friend, you Hispanic, and you trying different all types of foods. Where if you were living in Jamaica, it'd be probably hard to get unless they migrated there and they trying to bring their own culture and ingrain it. But that's what I really appreciate about America is the different cultures and opening your mind. So even if you don't get a time in your life to travel, you kind of get someone else's. You could kind of get from like either a friend or acquaintance
a little preview
of what's out there. Yeah,
I think
I was saying we have the privilege of living in New York City, so we get a
pot.
Yeah, so Spanish isn't Spanish. You got your Dominicans and your Puerto Ricans, your Mexicans, your Filipinos, like, and you get to see the distinct difference between each group.
Like all talk different types of.
They do
Spanishes.
Yes,
they do.
I didn't know. Well, I didn't know until like growing up and going to like Catholic school, and there was Dominicans, there was Puerto Ricans, there was Cubans. I remember I called one kid Mexican. He's like, I'm not Mexican, I'm Ecuadorian. I was just like,
Don't do that.
But in my head, you know, I'm just like, this is who you are, because in Jamaica, if you look Asian, no matter what Asian you are, they call you Chinese.
Mr. Chin.
Mr. Chin,
right.
Or Chinaman. That's it.
Chinaman.
I'm Japanese. All right, Chinaman. That's it. That's it. And the reason why I say we're the kindest but rudest people on earth is because it sounds rude, but they don't mean it in any rude manner. It's just like, no, you're Chinese. No, I'm Japanese.
No, that's too detailed. Chinaman.
And it's just like, all right. And I did not realize how much I am American until I start to like go over this whole entire running show. And I start to like dig into like, you know, the history or the heritage. And I'm just like, yeah, I am Jamerican. Like I am literally, because there's a lot of things that I do like about the culture of Jamaica where I want to keep it going. Like, you know, tell the truth when it comes. Jamaica, on a given Sunday, you're going to see majority of the people going to church.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, keep the Lord at your, you know, at the head. Don't push him away. But at the same time, I can't always tell the truth, Jamaica. I can't always be as blunt as you want me to be. I do have to respect the man that he's not Chinese, he's Japanese, and meet him at where he's at. And I feel like because we're in New York City, like David said, and it's like the melting pot, we become a lot more cultural than we think we are, where we're now understanding other cultures, and it's just like, oh. And one thing I realize is that, especially like in the Asian culture, because that's the only people that I can honestly say I have talked to a lot of in recent years, is that our upbringings, granted it might be different, but you still have that same harshness there. Where, and I don't know if y'all can agree with me, but there's a harshness to always get that A+.
Oh, yeah.
You bring home anything that's not an A+, even if it's an A, you failed. I remember my mom, she was getting it with my grandmother, her mother. And I came home with like A, I think like a B+, A. And she was like, why you not get the A on that? And it was then where I got a B+ on. And my grandma was like, why you vex him so? Him get a B+. You can't be happy? It ain't a C? And my mom was just like, no, but he could get an A. And she's just like, I know he could have gotten an A, but he got a B+. And I remember talking to another Asian, and the reason why I'm calling him Asian, because I'm not sure what Asian he is. And he was just like, man, I remember growing up and my mom used to always push that I got an A or an A+. I was like, bro, when I came home with a B+, my mom reprimanded me. He was just like, you too? And I realized is that, granted, cultures could be different, but the same aspect still resounds where it could be a little too harsh.
Yeah.
It's not until you come to America where you realize, like Tony Ann said, I can choose not to go do it, and I can sit down and not push through because I don't got no push to push through right now.
Literally.
I don't. What else do you, Matt? Because you are more American than I thought you were, so I'm picking on you. What else?
You said what else? What?
What else do you notice a difference in? Because it's now clicking. For those who don't know, David is my older cousin. I grew up with him. Like, literally, and my parents might hear this, and I'm going to get in trouble. There'll be days where I'll be like, I'm hanging out with David. I was not hanging out with David.
Thank God. Thank God they got to find out today.
But however, David was the predominant cousin that I grew up with,
Mm-hmm.
where I was always around him. And granted, I think, how many years do we differ?
3? I think 3.
I'm 30.
3.
So,
Oh, what you mean? Huh.
yeah.
I guess.
Ray, stop it, because I already know you about to be over here talking about how you the elder. The man is not even 40, bro.
I was just sitting peacefully. You know, just
I can hear your thoughts. I can hear your thoughts. I can hear your thoughts.
no. To be honest, that's in my head. Like
I know.
I was like, Ray, you're not gonna say that again.
But however, so the reason why I'm like picking on him because what he's saying is matching.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember going to David's house and listening to like, R&B. My house, I ain't even never heard R&B. I remember hearing like BB and CC.
Mm-hmm.
My house, who that?
Mm-hmm.
It was Fred Hammond. So when I'm like, oh, that's why you ate Chinese food on a Sunday. So what else did you and like pick something within the American culture that you would take into your own household?
I would say, I don't want to say gentle parenting, because no, but I guess the harshness that comes with West Indian parenting, like I push against that. I mean, generally, I'm a person that pushes against whatever I feel like is just tradition. Like if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't to me, I try to find another way. Okay. I'm a very, very flexible person. This is work, it don't work, let's try something else.
Awesome. Well, that's going to conclude part 1 of our part 2 series about Jamaican or being Jamerican. Stay tuned. We're on Instagram, TikTok. What else, Tony Ann?
We on Twitter yet?
No, we're not on Twitter.
We're on Twitter.
YouTube. We have a Facebook community. The link is down below. And thank you for listening. Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.